Good morning, friends. This morning for our video, I've invited Dr. Chung to give us an introduction to the organ. Dr. Chung, what can you tell us about?
Good morning, St. Mark's. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the instruments in preparation for something that has become an annual tradition here at St. Mark's Chapel on Halloween. So you'll get to hear a special piece for our Halloween chapel, but in order for you to more fully appreciate that, I want to tell you a little bit about the instruments. So this particular instrument here in the church was built in 1984. And these little buttons that you see here, they pull in and out, and these are what we call stops. So this organ has 20 stops, and you have to pull it out in order for the organ to make a sound. So right now, none of them are pulled out, so I can play on the keyboard and we hear no noise. But if I pull out one of these stops, then you can hear. And you notice I pull out the one on the left side and I can play on the keyboard, but you don't hear anything on the top keyboard. If I come over here to the right side and I pull out a stop, then now I hear it on the top as well. And if you listen carefully, you'll notice that there are different sounds. So this one over here is a much louder sound than this one over here. So the difference in that is that this is what we call a principal stop. And usually principal stops are heavier. They're a fuller sound. Sorry, not heavier. They're a fuller sound. And so they tend to be louder. This one over here is what we call a flute stop. And flutes are a little bit lighter and they're a little bit softer. You'll also notice, you may not be able to see it right now on the screen, but if you ever come by and look at the organ in person, I'd be happy to show you. There's a little number 8 here. That means that this pipe is 8 feet tall. So if you look up and you'll see these pipes up here, they're all different sizes and different heights. And you'll see the ones on the sides here are 8 feet. There's a stop over here that controls the pedal that says 16 feet. And these are these tall ones that you see in the middle here. There are pipes that are 2 feet. They're the smaller ones in the back. You can't really see them from here. And there are even ones that are 1 1/3. And so those are what we call mutations. And so that they're not the same sounding note as the 8, 4, and 2 feet. That's a little bit more complicated. If you ever come by and want to know, I'd be happy to explain it to you. So what I wanted to say to you is that when you hear the expression, pulling out all the stops, that actually comes from the organ, because when you pull out all of these stops, it's going to make a very big sound, a very big noise, which is where the expression pulling out all the stops comes from, when you go all out. So if you ever hear that, you can say, oh, I know, that's from the organ. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what this was about. And, oh, there is one thing I forgot. Mother Betsy just reminded me. When you play on the organ, you do need to have special shoes. If you use regular tennis shoes or something that has a rubber sole, it's very difficult to move around on the pedal. So in order to easily slide your feet on the pedal board, which you can see here, this is the pedal that I play with my feet. You have to have leather-soled shoes, and that allows you to move quickly and your feet to slide around on the pedal easily. So this is a 2-manual keyboard. There are other organs and instruments that have 3 manuals, meaning 3 keyboards. And there are also instruments with 4 and also 5 keyboards. Those have a lot more pipes. So this organ has 1,227 pipes. You can't see them all. They're all hidden in the back here. But that's a lot of pipes and a lot of noise. There are even bigger ones. There's a church down the street that I play at that has over 6,000 pipes. And that's also a lot of noise that can be made. So that's just a brief introduction to this instrument. As I mentioned before, There's a cymbal stern, which is the star up there. I don't know if you can see it, but if you come by and you ever want to try it, then you're welcome to do that. It's like a bell, a chime sound, and sometimes we use it at Christmas time, and it makes a really beautiful sound. So that is our introduction to the organ, and I hope you look forward to the Halloween surprise that we have in store for you on Chapel Thursday.